What is the difference between a scientific documentation and creative artwork? A teacher approached me and showed me some of the children's craft work, skeleton of a fish. After they observed the skeleton of the fish, the teacher asked them to make a skeleton of the fish with some recycled materials. And she was wondering, and she asked me, is this work art or scientific documentation? I said, what's your objective? Well, it's a science lesson, so the teacher really wants the children to observe and recreate a fishbone. And I thought, if this is a scientific observation, then the children need to create the fishbone as accurately as possible, such as how many bones are there, they need to count, and how many ice cream sticks they need to use to form the skeleton of the fish, the shape of the tail, the shape of the face, as accurately as possible, because this is how you measure children's knowledge of observation, how fine is their observation. And you can take photo of the actual fishbone and then compare to the final artwork. And that's the documentation. And the child said, yes, we calculated the number of fishbone that's on the body, the bones, and the shapes of the fin, and the shape of the head. And when you have a conversation with the child need to do a comparison. Yes, this shape, this length, as close as possible. And if you're looking at creativity, that's different. You show a fishbone, this is how the fishbone moves. Can you make it something interesting, but yet use the concept of a fishbone? Now that doesn't require the child to count how many bones. It will still look like a fishbone, but they can use very different materials, different size. It's the way of interpretation. But in creative art is interpretation. Scientific documentation is recording, is documentation. So be very clear of what your objectives is. We want them to be creative, or do you want them to do documentation? Ask correctly, conduct your lesson correctly, and you get the results. Interesting? Follow me for more.